I suspect that if I didn't have family, occupation, something that I was trying to achieve, I think I'd be rather scared. I think I'd... And that's not the only thing, but I think that there's fear of that. There's fear of not having not being occupied, not having a definite point of reference. I think I'm afraid of that.
And that's perfectly fine. You must accept it, because you're still looking for you in the outside. And not that it is very rare. It's fine. But maybe at some point you'll see that the fear is the opposite. That means that what you're afraid to face is the end of fear. Because without fear there is no ego. What we fear the most is what we need to achieve. Because there is nothing that we fear in depth. We're just pretending. Like you go to the horror movie and you don't see the monster and you're afraid and you don't see and you're afraid and you don't see. And you see it and it's finished. You're not afraid anymore. What we fear the most is what we need. To see that nothing can make us afraid. It's like in a dream. First one must experience it in dream. At some point you cannot have any more nightmare. It's impossible to have a nightmare. Because when you have a nightmare you want it. You dream and you, whatever your formulation of the dream will be, and you fall maybe and you're afraid, and at some point many times you did awake in tears or in sweat. And then there comes a moment in your life you fall in a dream and you go out of the dream to wake up, not to face it, and you still have the goosebump of fear in you, and you see the tendency to go to open the light, what you do normally, to get out of this state of fear, and I will say you come back to your sense. You said why? And you go back into the dream, into the fear which you really feel, and the fear disappears. Because fear is saying no. When you say yes to fear, nothing can make you afraid. The fear is saying no. But one must have it in dream first. Then you come in the dreams in a waking state. As long I wake up in fear from dream, something is not clear in me. At some point I can guarantee you cannot have a nightmare in dream. It's impossible. Because when the movement comes, you said, okay, it's okay. What is the problem? There's no problem there. And there's a kind of immense joy coming. Joy of your death. It is the ultimate joy. But this comes, I would say, naturally. So there's nothing to look forward. It's enough to see that we do things to cover the fear. And it's perfect. Just to see it. No comment. You're perfectly as you are. You don't need to change. Change happens by itself. It is the intensity of seeing this mechanism in you eventually makes the change. To see it with humility. Not that you could change. Just to face the fact, yes, I act, I place myself in life to go away of something I don't want to face. It's beautiful to see that already. And slowly, slowly, it brings deeper. Most people don't know what they do is for that. They really think they love this wife, they love this new job, they love this new car. They don't know they do it out of fear. It's already very deep to know everything I do come out of fear. Because I don't want to see something, I don't know what it is, but I just know I don't want to be in that place. There's already maturity expanding in us. Just to acknowledge it. 3-4 days ago, my daughter called me and said, I realize now that everything I do is out of fear. Whatever I do is to go away from fear. And I compliment her. I said, it's beautiful. Some people do 20 years of yoga and they don't know that. So, it's a gift you receive. You must treat it well. You must live with affection with this understanding, this feeling. Whatever you do, it's out of fear. There's not a single moment in life you don't act out of fear. It's beautiful to feel that. It's a gift. There's nothing to do with it. When this gift will have finished his course, something else will expand in you. But for now you must accept the gift as it is. Maybe you jump out of the window because of it, maybe you do drugs, maybe you get married, maybe you stop the study, maybe you study more. It's irrelevant. It's already the gift. It doesn't need any special care. It takes care of itself. Vision is its own sun and water and earth. When the vision comes, it takes care of itself. It's not for us to decide to do anything with it. We have no ability to do anything in life. That's a deep thing to see that. So we let this understanding, which we receive sometime, live in us. Everything I do is out of fear. Everything I do is to not facing something. It's a beautiful achievement to see that. And let it free of understanding. Let it free of analyzing. Let it free of helping it. I think out of fear. I breathe out of fear. I welcome the news. It's already a sign fear is leaving me. Otherwise I would not see that clearly. When fear is strong, I don't know. I think I'm afraid of this or of that. When I begin to listen to the fear, instead of saying I'm afraid of this or of that, fear has reduced in my life. And revelation is coming to me. So this feeling of fear, what we fear the most, is what we must listen to. It is not this who makes me afraid. This awaken the fear I carry with me everywhere, constantly. And when I'm not afraid of this anymore, this makes me afraid. At some point I must see, I stop looking at this and at that, and I come back to myself. The fear is here, it's not there. When I was 3 years old, I was afraid of the dark. The dark never made me afraid. I was afraid of this fear I carry here. And when I was in the dark, this fear was rising in me. Then I was afraid to be abandoned by my husband. Then afraid my child would this, and afraid. And then I understand. I was never afraid of any other thing. The situation would bring me back to my own fear, up to the revelation. The fear is here. Nothing else can make me afraid. It is here I must look, not there. As long as I look up there, I can quiet, if I'm not so stupid, this fear, and then I'll have fear of something else. So at some point in life you stop changing object of fear. And you look in yourself. And it's like a wave of fear sort of totally filling you up and going away. But as long as I accept the object of fear, I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of my husband, I'm afraid of leaving my husband, I'm afraid of staying with my husband. I'm not genuine enough to free myself from fear. So I free myself from my husband. And then I'll be afraid of the dog.